So guys, day 29 of the Road to 1 million in Forex funding series. A series I'm documenting all my accounts to 1 million in funding. I haven't seen anyone else do this live week upon week, and I'm doing it, so it's going to be exciting. After last episode, we made 2%, sufficiently out of drawdown. Let's hope this winning run continues. There's lots of opportunity, potential trade on S&P 500. I don't usually trade that, but it's looking phenomenal. So if we get an entry, I'll let you know.
So I just entered a long on S&P, bullish engulfing, clearly overextended, looking for a quick pullback move, breakout, higher high, higher low, looking for the rejection and then continuation. Very early into the position, but yeah, we're moving. Nothing really to update on except you have just moved slightly into profit, but again, very early into the trade. We'll have to see how we react at these highs. Initial target is going to be, or soft target is going to be the 4 hour 50, depending on how we react to that. I'll look to either get out if we get a lot of bullish momentum, we break straight through. Longer term target is the 20 EMA. Currently sat at these highs, obviously got to be careful to see how price reacts at these highs. It'd be nice if we get a clean break and close above the high, then look for the retest, and then if we continue. Okay, so prices broke out. If we break and close in the next 15 minutes above this high, obviously that's good confirmation that we're going to continue. Have to be aware that we're hitting the 4 hour 50, which is the first initial target. But I've moved stops to break even because we're running just about 1%, 1.2%. So stops are break even. That's what I do. Risk management, especially with pullbacks. If I'm running at 1%, I'll move to break even. If this rejects, I'll look to take some profit. But the risk reward 1.2% isn't really fantastic. If we're running at 2% now, then I might look to take some profit. But the overall target's about 3%, so I'm going to let this play out. This is obviously where you've got to be aware of all different possibilities, because I'm very much aware that we've hit the soft target and we could quite easily just sell off from here and continue in the overall downward trend on the daily. However, I'm betting that it's going to continue based on how overextended we are and that we broke out, made a new higher high, higher high, higher low, higher high. So yeah, we could come back, pull back, but I'm looking for the continuation, and that's the risk.
So this is what I mentioned before about management. It's about trading your strategy, not your balance. Sometimes emotionally you see the balance fluctuate at a certain equity price and you're wanting to get out because of the price. But if there's no logical reason for you to exit your trade, your management plan hasn't given you an example to exit the trade, then it's best to stick with the strategy. As you can see from that example as I was showing, we're still bullish. There's nothing to suggest exiting. I'm aware of the 4 hour 50 and I've got to be cautious of that, because that's the first soft target. But it's so important to not allow the fluctuations in account to dictate your decisions. The decision should be made based on the management plan that you've backtested and you have an edge for.
So I have my management plan in place. I'm looking at what price action is telling me. So if we can get a continuation, pullback, and keep making higher highs, higher lows, that would look fantastic. Okay, so we've rejected this high, which is what we wanted to see, and now we've continued on. Now, again, got to be cautious of this 4 hour 50 because we've hit the soft target. We're running about 1.5%, which is not bad for a pullback move, and we are aware this is a pullback move. So I'm going to see how this in about a couple of hours, what this is looking like. If this rejects, obviously now I can manage it below here, because if this pulls back to here, we're going to expect this to become the lower high. Obviously, high, higher high. This is the low. So we're going to expect this to be the higher low to continue. So we can manage it at break even. And in terms of taking profit, I'm obviously playing the probability game that we're going to continue to full target. I could take 1.5 off now, but I do like this higher time frame, and there isn't anything at this current moment in time to suggest that this bullish trend is over. If we get signs that this bullish trend's over or looking to fail like a rejection, I will look to potentially close. Okay guys, so I just decided to close this position down for a couple of reasons, multiple reasons. Number one, 47 minutes till the daily closes, and this is selling off, which means this 4 hour is likely to, well, it might not, but at this current moment in time, we broke down the 5 minute, is likely to reject this 4 hour 50, which, as you guys know, is my first target. So I have to be extremely cautious. Secondly, it's just a pullback move. So this could continue into the upside. But as it's a pullback move, we've hit the soft target. I've got to be aware. I banked 1.4%, about $1,400 on this position. So it's enough risk reward to warrant a close. And thirdly, I'm out of this position, but tomorrow, one of the other entries that we have, strategies wise, is a break and retest of the 1 hour 50 EMA. So potentially we could get another re-entry if this pulls back to this level. Yeah, we'll be rejecting the 4 hour, but I could also potentially look for a continuation along. So for those 3 reasons, I decided to close. So that's where you have to be very careful to know, are you closing it emotionally because of the balance, or are you closing it for logical, technical reasons? Okay, guys, so after that position closed, resulted in just under 1.4% profit. Currently sat at 2.88%, so nearly 3% up. So just around about 7% to go, which is still quite a way, but again, a couple of good trades, trend continuation moves or good risk reward trades, we're going to get there. Slow and steady, consistent. Look at the consistent growth so far since the start of this year. We've had, really, these weren't really losses, these were to keep the account going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions, and we've only lost 1, which isn't bad. So this year, out of the 6 positions, we've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 6. So solid strike rate. That's why patience pays. Patience matters. Waiting for the high quality setups. You saw at the start of the year, or the start of the challenge, we had these trades, and now not all of these were bad, but some of them, when I looked in hindsight, were very lower probability. So you have to be careful looking for the best quality setups, and as you can see, they could be a lot more consistent. Let me show you that position jotted down, 1.4%, as you can see, S&P. So as you can see, for March so far, 3.9%, 6 trades, 2 break-evens, 1 loss, 3 wins. 3.9%, not too bad. We still have a little bit of time in March. It's only the 20th today, so could be some good positions next week. For the year so far, these are the results. So we're getting more consistent, very, very much improved from last year. 3.9% so far. Again, this is subject to change because the month isn't over, but so far, looking quite nice. We're improving as a trader. We're a lot more consistent, and it's been fantastic to show you guys my improvements. I find it interesting because a couple of months ago, when I was on a massive losing streak, had the 4 losses, people were saying your strategy doesn't work, you don't have an edge, this, that, and the other. And I can understand why people would think that, because if they haven't tested it themselves and they don't believe in the style of the system that I'm trading, and you're showing losses, which I am showing everything, I'm not going to hide away from the losses, people can think, oh, this doesn't work, or he doesn't know what he's doing. But it just shows from January, February, March, you know, those results that I just showed you, been very, very consistent. So it does show that in trading, it's not about being right all the time. It's not about winning every single position. I've shown those losses, and I'm still up sufficiently for the year, and the results look very consistent. So that's why you got to stick with the style. If I'd have changed things based on what people have said, or the losing streak, or the drawdown period, I wouldn't have allowed the profitable edge, the profitable time of the strategy to play out, because I'd be looking at something else, or another style, another system. So it's so important that if you're going through drawdown, that you stick with something that works. Now, you need to know that it works by having the data, back testing, and having a sufficient edge. So there's no good sticking with something that doesn't work. I know my data, I know my system, I know my entry model, and I know it has an edge, so I have to stick with that, and that's what I've done. And we've seen that we're out of drawdown sufficiently, up 2.88% on the challenge, and this year's been a phenomenal year so far, consistent. So yeah, it's important that you guys stick with your style. It doesn't matter what style you're trading, but you just got to stick with it. And just accept that losing's part of the game. People don't want to show losses because it makes other people think that they don't know what they're doing, that you should be winning all the time, predicting the moves all the time. Losing in trading is not bad if it's part of your plan. If it's a trade that's part of your back-tested plan that you have an edge for, if that individual trade loses, it's not bad. It's part of your plan, because you know if you take that trade multiple times throughout the year, or a large frequency of times, you're going to be up if you have a back-tested edge. So losing isn't bad. But because I was showing every trade that most people aren't doing on here, I was showing every position. When I had a back-to-back losses, 4 losses in a row, people were criticising, saying you don't know what you're doing. Now, it's still very early on. I'm not saying I'm an expert, not at all. But I'm just showing the power of sticking with something that works, and you can get consistent returns. It's like, I'm not saying these results are extremely good. There's a lot of people with a lot better results. But for someone who is improving, is trying to get even more consistent, especially after last year,
they're not bad. You know, if you have a large account and you can scale that, that's around 7% return. If I have, you know, for this year, if I had a 100k account, that's 7 grand for this year. If I had if I had 200k account, that's 14,000 already for the year in 3 months. So by the slow period and not trading much, and people again saying you don't know what you're doing, to have a 7% return isn't amazing. And again, I'm not claiming I'm some expert. I'm documenting and showing everything in front of you, you know, showing my lessons, showing my improvements. But they're not too bad results and they're consistent. And that's what I want to show with this channel, the power of consistency by sticking with something that you know works. And trading isn't about winning every day or every week. It's about allowing the edge to play out, going through the winning, going through the losing periods, and coming out the other side with the edge. And this is what the edge represents. So I appreciate all the support you guys show me on the channel. Let's try and hit 5k subscribers. That's what we're on the road to. If you guys can help by like, commenting, and subscribing, or sharing this video to someone that would get value. Obviously, I'm real, honest, transparent, sharing my whole journey in front of you guys' eyes every week. So I appreciate the support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.